Hello, my name is Raymond Karchevsky, and I am a living Christ. I should like to speak to you about what Christ consciousness is. I suspect that few of you can grasp what it is that I am saying to you. You are all conditioned. You've been conditioned all your life. I myself come from a Christian background, a Catholic background, a poor Polish family from the south side of Chicago. I was part of a family that held to Christian standards, Catholic standards. But those standards never really met with the actions of the people that were in my family and the people that I knew in the neighborhood. I found that they were all talk, but no action. I saw very little evidence of love, of compassion, of care. I saw a great deal of competition, a great deal of force and beliefs that kept people separated into factions that pit them against each other in competition. That was the form of life that I met in my early years. And as I grew older, into my teenage years and young adulthood, it did not change. I found myself a stranger in a strange environment because I did believe in love, understanding. I was forced into a life of competition, however. I was caused to become involved in sports in my early years, my high school years. I played football, was on the city championship team in 1954-55. I went on to junior college and we won the conference in that year. I was a first team contributor. And then I went into the Army, and we were the conference champions there in Korea. And I, too, was on the first team contributor. So that was my introduction into the dissipation of violence that I was experiencing in my life. After the football season was over in Korea, I was offered the job as manager of the regimental gymnasium, which I took. I spent most of my Army career in Korea in the years 1956 to 57 as the manager of the regimental gymnasium. And I also was a participant and the coach on the boxing team, the regimental boxing team. I boxed and was the 8th Army uh, light heavyweight champ in my category. in that time. And I thought that that was going to be my ticket out of an environment of poverty when I got back to the States. Well, I found that I didn't have it in me to hurt people, which was quite a dichotomy for one who was being drawn to such violence. So I boxed about a year, and I realized I didn't have it in me to hurt people, to put people away. When I did hurt them, I did catch them with a lucky punch. Bad place for a heavyweight in the professional ranks to be. Although I had the talent, I did not have the capacity to deal out brutality. That's quite an interesting place to be. So I quit boxing, and by that time I had left Chicago, left the family. It was my boxing was my ticket out of Chicago for a new life, where my new wife and I branched off on our own to make a new life. Had a great wife. Couldn't have asked for a better mate. We had 49 good years before she passed away recently. Well, that's not so recently now. It's been 12 years. And since that time, I have left the world, I think, as you would call it, civilized world. I'm in it, but I'm not of it. I think that can be clearly seen. For I live in the state of balance between the subconscious mind and the conscious, satanically ruled intellect, the conscious mind. The mind that we all know as our civilized mind. Well, that civilized mind is the creator of hell, and we have created hell for ourselves. And I speak about that. That's the subject of my videos, and they're not well received at all. I threaten the conscious intellect, the satanically ruled intellect. I'm a threat to Satan, the ruler of the intellect, of the civilized world that you all know and contribute to. You make the hell that exists in civilized life. Oh, you blame each other for it, but that's part of the confusion of duality, of holding on to your concepts, your ideas. The truth is what is, and can only be grasped directly by awareness of the subconscious mind. But we have sold our souls, our infinite, godlike energy that is the creator of our world. Yes, we are the gods of our own lives. We create our own quality of life, and we are solely responsible for it. But we have been trained out of it by attending satanically ruled schools that program you into duality, into ideas, concepts. Truth is what is. Truth is love. Truth is life. Truth is God. Now, the idea of truth is a step away from holistic understanding and becomes a fictitious, illusory existence of thought. And we believe in thoughts. We believe in idols, conjured up by memory-based concepts, rules, regulations. That's the kind of world that we populate. It's the world of illusion. False gods, false ideas, false thoughts. And we believe it. We serve it. We support it. And we are confused. That is the source of the contradiction and conflict that all civilized men and women live in. And it begins at their birth, when the satanic forces of government, fictional institutions that is conjured up only by the intellectual mind, is programmed to think along lines of concepts, ideas, myths, legends, and words. They believe it's true, and that is their confusion. That creates the contradiction in essence. That is really what sin is. Nothing more than a contradiction in essence, the conflict of dualism. That is reality for everybody who lives in their conscious intellect. And they have a very thin skin when it comes to a simple man of truth who has the audacity to point out that the idea of truth, which is dualistic, cannot be truth, which is non-dualistic, the what is. So if you believe in the idea of what is, you're living in hell. Oh, you don't call it that. You call it normal society. But look at that society. Everything turns to hell, turns to contradiction, turns to violence, while you hold ideas of wonderment. You strive to better yourself. But what is that betterment? It's a setting of goals, setting of ideas that you attempt to attain. But what you're attaining is an illusion also, isn't it? So you're still in hell, but you believe you're not. That is the confusion of all of you. You don't know what truth is, and when it's presented to you, you're offended by it. So you seek to escape it. You flee from the energy of holistic truth into escapes of music, drugs, alcoholism, entertainment, sports, all of which are deterrence from what is, from solving the problems of confusion and reaching the state of what is, truth, holistic. Since it is holistic, it has no contradiction to it. Understand? Contradiction only comes with duality. And duality comes with the idea of what is. Therefore, when one immerses oneself in the ideas that they hold about life, they are in constant contradiction, and they believe that they are achieving some sort of godliness, but it is the illusion, the idea, the belief of godliness that they attain. They're still confused, they're still in hell, but they believe that they are in a better position in hell than those who don't agree with them. They don't know what love is. They don't know what compassion is. Oh, they have moments of clarity, awareness, where they experience such things, but those are fleeting and few between. And one lapses back into the memory of that, which takes precedence in their consciousness. All memories are dead ideas based in memory. Understand? Life and love occur only in the eternal moment of non-dualistic now. That is heaven on earth. That is what this living Christ, this simple man of truth, who has lived a life of resolving contradictions within oneself, problems, and bringing one's consciousness to the non-duality of what is, the subconscious mind, once again becoming the God of his own life and his own life only. I do not attempt to change your life. Only you can change your life, but you must understand the truth when you hear it, when you see it. You see, if you want to argue with it, that is your defense to remain in hell. You will notice that I do not argue with anyone. I merely point out the what is, the truth of the contradictions of that which stands before a mirror of truth that is this living Christ. And what is that living Christ consciousness that I speak of? It's based in absolute infinity. The thing, no thing exists within infinity, for all things are existence in nothing. That's the difference between a nobody, a man of Christ consciousness, and a somebody, the person, the defined word, person, who is no longer a human being, an entity, a living, breathing, flesh and blood man or woman, but merely a definition of a corporation created by institutions of government and its fellow institution of religion. They're both institutions which control your minds and control your behavior. And they have built a world of hell, including their own laws, satanic law. There's only God's law. Do no harm, tell no lies. That is the world of the living, the world of Christ's, the living, breathing flesh and blood, sentient, natural men and women. They live in heaven. Few are they who come to understand who they are, their purpose on earth, living this life, which is why you're here to begin with. None of you understand who you are because you are so enamored with the ideas that have been conditioned into you by your satanic controllers, your mind controllers, and you live your life from birth to death, which is all an illusion because it is a fiction. It has a beginning and it has an end, birth and death, and you believe that to be your life. That's not what life is at all. And I'm here to tell you that. And you get offended. Get offended as much as you like. That's just the way it is. Now, what are you going to do about it? I suggest that you are the creator of the collapse that is about to happen to you. Oh, you're going to blame government, you're going to blame the banks, you're going to blame all kinds of other entities for what is about to happen to you. But you are to blame because you have supported it. You have created the contradictions in your life that are soon to take place and will come back to bite you in the butt. Because you have created that. You have created your own annihilation. You are the creators of war because you support the armaments, the means for killing. Why do you do that? All of you want peace. None of you want violence, and yet that's what you support. That's called ignorance. I'm here to wake you up. I'm here to tell you that your government is full of fools who exploit you, who cheat you, who steal from you, who send you to wars because they create the contradictions between institutions called nations that fight and kill each other. That's the kind of world you create for yourself, and you take great pride in that. The hell is wrong with you? Well, you're about to find out where your next meal is coming from when the system falls apart. And all of you who are living from hand to mouth now, suddenly are unable to gain employment, to find money. So you will steal, you will kill, you will do anything to survive. And that is what the future holds for most of you. Not too smart, are you? I'll leave you with that. That doesn't shock you, nothing. Nothing will.